Hi, my name is Anil Wanvari, and you're welcome to Meet the Tech Maestros, a series wherein we are talking to ad tech and martech gurus of India, as well as overseas. I know I'm very happy to have a fantastic guest on this particular episode, Ishank Joshi, who's a co founder and the CEO of Mobavenue. Mobavenue frightens me because it reminds me of the underworld, but I'm sure it's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with the underworld of the entire internet and advertising. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hi, guys. My name is Ishank. Thanks for a quick intro. I'm excited to be part of this podcast and would love to share my 2 cents, what I've learned over last 2 decades about building up and creating things and company in the ad tech and marketing tech world.
What about the thing about frightening? Why do you call it Mob Avenue?
So
Why
that's an interesting.
the mob is more than the world?
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Anil. But we are not at all threatening. Neither we are underworld. I'll give you a brief of how it all started. So we got our first client back in 2017. It was more on the founder's reputation. One of our first customers were Killer Jeans, a very, very reputed company, and we were there to. Initially, we were working as a boutique digital agency, and they wanted to kickstart their mobile journey with us. And when we spoke to the team internally, they said, "What's the what are the avenues that you can create on the mobile ecosystem?" So that is where when we came back and figured out, okay, I think we are good to name ourselves as Mob Avenue because we wanted to create more opportunities on the mobile and mobile as a platform and mobile as mobile advertising largely. So it was I think we figured out around 7 to 10 names and landed up in naming the organization as Mob Avenue. And the thesis was we would able to create more avenues on mobile, and it could cater to mobile advertisement. It could be catering to mobile performance marketing and a lot of other things that we were doing at the early days of our starting up the journey. So that's how the name
Basically,
happened. And
mob coming from mobile rather
yes,
than the
mobile,
mob in
yeah.
the direction I was going.
Yeah, that's not coming from the same side. It is coming from the mobile ecosystem.
Fantastic. But doesn't that restrict you and limit you in your space, in your sphere of work? Couldn't you have kept it open a bit?
Very fair, Anil. However, when you start any organization, our learning has been that you have to be very, very focused towards solving a certain problem. You can solve a lot of problems, but it doesn't take you in your early days anywhere. So we were very, very cautious and picking up the right thing, during our early days because we want very clear focus and clutter down on what problems we wanted to solve for. And I think we are lucky enough that over last 7 to 8 years of our bootstrapping journey, we're very deep focus in solving towards mobile advertising and mobile growth. And this is where it helped us to keep our heads down rather than solving too many problems as an organization. It really helped us to ensure that we are able to scale, grow, drive with the help of our customers, and then become one of the top partners to work with over last 7 years. So in hindsight, we feel that we were it's good to have into a focus ecosystem than versus trying to do a lot of things.
So
Uh,
it's exactly the same conundrum I faced when I started.
yeah,
There was a thought of calling it Indian media, but then I said I
yeah,
can't do justice to the media world.
right,
Uh, you know, just being so therefore I focused purely on television, called it
amazing.
IndianTelevision.com, and but the name has become a little constricting now. Perception is that it's only about television when it's not true. When we write about everything about advertising, print, and everything, we cover almost everything under the sun. So that's why I raised that question to you in terms of calling it Mob Avenue.
I think now we feel the heat. because now we are into a multi-group, which caters to mobile advertising, advertising technology, marketing technology, uh, 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 and some of the other technologies that we are working, especially on the AI side. So I think in few years we will look at, how we could name it better. But we have named our products better. Uh, we will continue to name, the company as Mobavenue. It's lucky for us, and I hope we are able to, live with that journey.
Fantastic. But you've been a bit of a serial entrepreneur. This is not your first exercise. You've done stuff like goals before. You've
Yes.
done stuff before.
Yes, yes, yes. And everything that I've done has given me an opportunity to learn and build and create and grow. Came from a humble background. Started my first venture. Post my college was engineering students build up into an ecosystem of helping some of the other startups on building a business plan, and the partner Amit, who was from IIT, and I am from Mumbai Angels. We started a small institution known as Nurture Talent Academy. The thought process was similar to Founders Institute, and this was back in 2010, 2013, when people do not even talk about startups, right? So we were one of the early folks who started focusing on how we can build a community on startups, and that was my journey point. And post that, from 2013 till today, I am in the advertising technology because I fall in love when I went in US in 2013, I think 14, after my marriage, and selling off Nurture Talent Academy. Uh, I met a couple of entrepreneurs there, and figured out that mobile is the way to go forward. And from there onwards, being in the advertising tech or monetization tech is been the journey so far. But yeah, running up multiple companies over time really help you to become better. You learn from your mistakes, you keep doing better and better. And that is what we've been doing in Mob Avenue. We have applied almost everything that we had, and we continue to put forward best of our efforts to kind of scale the organization into multi-product, multi-technology platform, and then obviously into multi-geos, right, built from India. So we're lucky
Fantastic.
enough that we are able to reach that stage.
That's great. I mean, so what problems are you solving?
And start maybe in the beginning, when we were a small boutique agency back in 2017, 18, Kunal and Tejas started up, focusing on largely the growth and user acquisition, wherein which we used to bring new users to any mobile app. And for that, we used to use Meta, we used to use Google, we used to use uh, programmatic advertising. We used to have app store optimization. So we were basically a growth agency for any of the brands who are looking to scale in the growth in the mobile ecosystem. What we understood is that most of the brands are missing the data driven approaches of integrating performance marketing, programmatic marketing, and also the post growth analytics, which is required to understand the intent of the users, right? And that's where we understood that Meta and Google and some of the other biddable platforms, which are walled gardens, would able to give brands more visibility and growth opportunities. However, programmatic advertising was very, very, very focused and very, very niche, where most of the advertisers were failing on. Uh, and that gave us an opportunity to start building our own programmatic advertising platform. We used in the initial days some of the largest programmatic advertiser platforms, which are based in US, in Europe, in Asia. We were not very happy with the whole platforms which are being built because none of them were solving towards the performance, which is how can we bring ROAS. So most of the programmatic advertising platforms were based to provide right set of audiences, maybe to some extent. visits and video views, but they were not focused towards providing, performance. And this is where, we started focusing in building our own platform, right from building the real-time bidder platform, on top of it, campaign management, on top of it. Now we have built, a lot of machine learning capabilities, which are able to predict the right intent of the user even before we showcase the ad. And once we are able to predict it, we are able to bring the user on any of the mobile app or a mobile game, or any of the website which is looking to acquire them up. So that's been a journey for us, right from being an agency which was giving support for growth, and moving towards the product, which is very focused towards driving programmatic performance.
Was that a major problem for clients?
It is indeed. If you see most of the customers today, most of the clients, most of the advertisers, they are around 30 to 40% of the budgets goes on acquiring new users, because every business need new users for their businesses, and they are using multi-channel approaches today. Back around 7 to 8 years back, they were using very focused approaches, which is maybe Google search or a Meta to some extent, and programmatic was a very small portion of their overall growth stack. And that is what we have built over a period of time. Since the most of the brands will continue to use and continue to acquire more and more users, we wanted to build something which is very, very transparent uh, for the end advertisers. So they could know that where their ad is running, how is it running, what is the format of the ad, which app or game the ad was present to, what was the journey after the person downloaded their product, which is app or a game. So that is something which was lacking, and it was inefficient, because everybody has their own way to showcase, their product, and we wanted to build into more transparent led approach, uh, which was missing few years back, and even today, in some cases, it is missing.
Yeah. And India is mobile first, right? I mean, in whatever you look at it, so you're in the right lane, absolutely in the fast lane.
So, absolutely. I think two important milestones which happened in India, which didn't happen in some of the other part of the world, which was clearly back in 2015-16 when Geo came in place. So obviously, that really democratized the way the India internet ecosystem today is. The data became very, very cheap, affordable, and accessible to everybody, which put pressure on some of the large giants such as Airtel and Vodafone Idea today to even reduce down the prices, and mass adoption was there. The second was the UPI payment stack or the NPCI payment stacks, which really help us, or the brands, to collect the payments for people who doesn't have credit card and debit card. So this is where the mobile ecosystem really, really evolved. And the last was in 2020, when the COVID came in, while we were ready for this kind of a growth, everybody was on the mobile phone. So the whole augmentation of the user, which was, still using desktop or might not be available on the mobile, was on the mobile for a few 8 to 9 months. And that was a turning point for us, where we were like, what we dreamt of, focusing on mobile as a core functionality, that really picked up. That really picked up for us.
So how much have you scaled up to now? You're what, 400 employees?
Yeah, so we started with 20 employees, 15, 20 employees in the early few years. Scaled to around 50 during the time of COVID. Today we are around 175 folks, people around India, Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. We have a small office in Surat. We also have presence in Asia, in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. Recently, we've moved a bit in UK, and expanding to some of the other regions. So yeah. from 20 to 175 people today.
So unlike other people who are taking services from abroad and white label service, and they're putting that stamp on it, you're a guy who's taking your service global.
Yes, absolutely. We are aiming that we whatever solution that we build, and you know, the aim is to grow from India beyond India. So we continue to build our tech, we continue to build our operations, we continue to build our partnerships here. But we are a truly global company because our platform is able to serve customers across 198 countries in the world. Now it's all about having our local presence in those countries, and we have chosen some of the large countries which we would want ourselves to be present, and then offer our solutions and product to those particular advertisers in those countries.
And how are you customizing it in various markets? Or is the product that you have, it's ready to go and ready to sell and ready to give solutions to customers?
The problem that we were solving, Anil, earlier, which was helping users to drive new users or helping apps or games to drive users, that's a global problem. That was not just a India problem. We started our journey while solving for India because obviously India gives you a very large amount of scale, is able to give you feedbacks in a very, very good manner. Here you can find users right from the large, users versus also the users which are, which are not on the internet today, right? Or just starting off their internet journey. So before going to the mature market, we wanted to solve for India. But the problem remains, it's a global problem. Most of the brands, whether it is an app or whether it is a game, would continue to have new users on their platform. And that is what we are trying to solve for them. We help them drive new users. While that's just one of the problems over years that we have solved for, while we were building those solutions in India, we also understood that a part of a team spends on increasing the value of the user. So once you have acquired a user, you would spend to increase the purchase of the user. You would want them back on your platform. You would want to engage with them again. And they continue to use CRM systems such as MoEngage, CleverTap, but they were missing on again the remarketing capabilities. So we've also built that as a solution and a product to offer to customers, as a journey. Once they have acquired a user, we can bring them back in the second part of the journey, to bring the repeat transactions to bring them back on their platform if they have not purchased over last 6 to 9 months. So these two problems are a global problems, and hence our product is quite ready to go in some of the other regions. So we don't need to localize the product because the problems are global.
So, this is the age of AI. I believe you put in a lot of ML and AI into the product so that it's, self-actualizing, self-growing, and finding good solutions for your clients on its own. So,
Yeah.
how are you putting this into practice?
Interesting story, Anil. When we were building the systems, back in 2019 till 2021, we were largely a rule-based engines. We have built automations at scale. And that is a time when, when my co-founder and CTO Tejas, and we all together as founders started exploring AI as a technology, and obviously data science as a technology. So last 3 years have been a quite a turnaround for us because we were one of the very early mover, I would say, of believer of what AI can do for advertising tech, because you are talking about billions and billions of ad requests, opportunities, impressions. From that, we need to find out, who is the best user for your product or services, right? So clearly, in this case, machine learning and AI was making a very, very huge difference for us, and that is where we started, building up our own workbench. We call it as an AI workbench and infrastructure. Because this helps us to put full of automation ecosystem that we want to build. It also helps our data science team and ML engineers to ensure that they are continuously working on building models which can help our customers. We at our time we also build custom models for our category customers, such as in gaming, in real money gaming, in BFSI, in fintech, in commerce. So, all of this technology that we have built over last 3 years, I would say, has really helped us to, scale our operations in a true manner without spending a lot on the human capital. We've been able to do a lot of automation, and on top of it, our precision to find the right set of users have drastically improved in last 15 months. And this can be clearly shown through the way we have scaled our operations and revenues in India. So definitely, what we have built in last 36 months has helped us to optimize media buying. It has helped us to predict the right user intent, and also able to help us deliver very personalized ad experiences, which we want to do it for our customers to ensure they're able to get ROI or ROAS for whatever money they are spending on our platform.
Going forward, AI also presents certain problems in certain, raises a few things about ethics, manipulation, and it does encourage hyper personalization. So, how do you address these concerns?
Anil, it's very, very important for us as a company and as one of our global companies that we equally take care of data privacy and data ethical way of using data in the best manner. And for responsible advertising, it is very, 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 very clear, for us. One of the things that we have done is, while we as a platform, we don't own any of the personal information of the user, be it name, email ID, phone number. But we keep educating the brands and we ourselves also that, we are today GDPR compliant, we are CCPA compliant. We are already going towards India DPDP Act and then ISO compliance. We just, finished last 12 months our InfoSec. So it is very, very critical for us to educate the way the data is being used, and we educate the brands also on the same manner that how the data is being used in a most transparent manner. Uh, we put a lot of efforts with our brands also. How do they collect the data? How are they taking permissions to collect the data? Because we our models do not work on just our data. It also requires data collection from the brands to ensure that we are able to find right set of users. So anything which is shared on the level of data, we are very, very secured. It is user consented. It is highly data anonymized so that we never able to identify the real users. But without the data also, to be honest, it is impossible or maybe, really not possible to create AI as as a models or, you want to create a scalable solutions for set of your advertisers or brands or anybody else. So data plays a very, very important role, but most of the organizations today have built their own data infrastructures through which they are able to, share the data in a more secure manner without sharing any of the personal identification information.
And are they all complying, or are there some folks making mistakes, or are they learning along the way?
The CIOs and the CISOs, especially today, are all compliant. And since we work largely with the enterprise customers for state, they are even more compliant. So for us, onboarding them is a journey, but most of them, and I would say all of them, are hugely compliant.
And but it does it stop innovation or by being compliant, or
I would not say that it stops innovation. It just adds more set of responsibility for a large brand who is the owner of that data, right? Uh, Innovation is part of the journey where you start finding out, better usage. But not being compliant is not a choice. It is something which will affect their business. It will affect their, overall brand value. So it
And
is
also the
very
penalties
critical.
are very high. GDPR penalties are very high.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we do educate that, to most of the brands, that GDPR, CCPA, even in India, which is coming by the government of India, which is DPDPR, the penalties are higher. So why to be uncompliant then versus, uh, you know, uh, where you can choose to be compliant and still be innovative. Uh, and that is what we are trying to solve for. And that's where we also see the future lies, that advertising will be more responsible, it'll be more privacy led, it'll be more personalized, not on the sake of the user privacies. And that is where we are also building up our brand. That's where we are also building our platforms, and we are fully supporting that.
Great. What's the AI innovation that's really exciting you these days in ad tech or martech?
I mean, we are very, while we have built our infrastructure, what I mentioned last, 3 years or 36 months, putting up that infrastructure in place. Uh, what we see in, advertising technology and marketing technology, that creatives play a very, very important role. And we have seen a lot of creative generation, which is happening through now AI. While it continue to evolve, it is still very, very early days. But one of the things that I'm very, very, gung-ho or excited about is the AI agents, which we started working last 12 months on building, agents for our internal workforce to ensure that we are able to automate the whole journey wherein no human intervention is required. So we've been building that in-house presently, and we are very, very excited about how the agents will actually help humans and employees and people to be more productive, to have better journey, and to be more ability to generate, test, iterate, a lot of time in all real time basis. So
Basically,
I
so
would,
agentic AI is exciting you.
yes, 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 that is, AI agents are exciting. AI creators is something that teams are continuously to test.
What are the dangers of agentic AI going out of control?
I don't see that it's a dangerous, because it is again developed on an infrastructure which helps you to do the things in a following manner. It's like a workflow. It'll do one, two, three, four, five, six. It'll follow the rules that you have set it for yourself or for that particular workflow. But maybe that is not required by a set of a human or a human being, which can be done through a machine, which is a regular task. So, giving you an example, if we have to optimize the bids of any of the media buying capabilities, can it be done through a AI agent which is powered and who understands how the campaign performance works? So you need to know about CTRs, you need to know about clicks, you need to know about creatives, you need to know about some of the other measures, how all of these campaigns are working. You can create an AI agent only for this particular task, which continues to optimize the campaigns either on a daily basis or a monthly basis, and send you the updates on which parameters they are optimizing the campaign for. So I we just feel that in the age where we are living today, all these agents or maybe AI will only and only help us reach to the next level. Either we should embrace this, or we might have to change our work styles.
Great. Now, coming down to a question, which is discoverability is becoming very very challenging these days. There are so many apps out there.
Right.
What are the most effective strategies that brands should adapt to be able to be discovered better?
So we've seen that. of course, from a programmatic point of view, we are helping most of the advertisers to get discovered in millions of apps and other games, using our technology. So definitely that's one of the ways to ensure that you are able to get discovered in a lot of millions of apps which are there. So instead of, what's one of the things that you are solving for. The other is we've also seen, all the content creators today, which act as an influencer to the brand, is able to discover some of the initial journeys for you as an app and a game provider or a brand. Uh, so they are able to educate customers about some of the use cases of your app, or how to play a game. And that is one of the channels that we have seen clearly growing in terms of creating the discovery, creating the impact. Uh, uh, in these times, a lot of brands today, we keep telling them to spend on app store optimization, which is now becoming a very key part for any of the growth stack that we look at. It was similar to days of SEO. How you are able to optimize your logo, how you are able to optimize, your first 5 words of your of a Play Store, how you are able to optimize your creatives which are there. So all of these, part in try to get you more discovery, in the Play Store or in the iOS store, which is Apple Store. So these are the two, three things that we definitely advise, most of the customers in terms of, getting more better discoverability. Some of the things that we've also seen is that, re-engagement and a lot of deep linking activity which is required inside your product uh, to know the customer journeys is also helping you to improve the retention. So if your products are more better retained, you more Google and iOS gives you more credibility, and hence, they are more better discovered. So if your product has less retention, that will create a challenge for discoverability, because both from App Store and Play Store perspective also, they want right apps and games to be discovered to the set of customers which are on a daily basis coming on their platform. So we're also helping them that how your user can be more retained inside an app and game, which helps you improve the discoverability in a longer run.
Yeah, I read somewhere one article which your guys had written about. It was about OTTs. How are you? What
Yeah.
role are you playing in the case of video OTTs?
So back in 2020, we saw this whole category of video, growing at a billion, CAGR. Ideally, that became a choice because most of the people started consuming content on OTT or connected TVs or video, which was earlier, they were stuck to a TV or a television, right? So this is where we build our product and platform known as PrismX, which gives a omni-channel experience where we've connected multiple OTT inventories. We have connected to multiple connected TV providers. We have even the OEMs in that manner, and we have a very large video ecosystem, which enables them to target specific users to improve their upper funnel and engage with the audiences on the video platform. And that is where we have been building up, OTT advertising. We call it as omni-channel video advertising because OTT is just one of the channels. Anywhere and everywhere where we are able to showcase video is what we are able to aggregate on our platform today.
Yeah, the world is moving towards super apps and ecosystem-based experiences. Do you see this as the next big disruption in mobile marketing?
Initial earlier we were very we were very happy about super apps. We've seen some of the great super apps in Asia, such as Grab, who is one of our customers. in India, a lot of people have tried super apps capability. Again, without naming some of our customers there, but what we've understood is lately, while super app was a great theme, now multiple apps is what the industry is moving towards, because what they are looking at is that a user would want to use a particular app for a certain use case. So if it is about booking tickets, they want to use it for booking tickets. It's about booking a dining. They would want to use it for booking a you know to go out. And if it is about ordering food, it is just about ordering food. If it is about fast deliveries, it's just about fast deliveries. So while a lot of people have spent a debate on super apps. But in India, the multi-app ecosystem is what it is powering to, because one app cannot solve all and everything uh, from a user journey perspective. But countries like China, countries like Russia, and some of the other countries where super app is becoming popular, but all of these countries are also moving towards multiple app ecosystems.
Yeah, but you also have folks like OTT Play, which are aggregators, which are apps within apps, which are getting traction. So how do you account for that?
Yeah, I mean that's a great use case, because again, if you see in the same category, it's a super app. When the category changes, which means the use case of the user changes, then it is multiple apps. So if you are aggregating multiple apps and bundling into a single app in the same category, it's a great use case. But if you are bundling multiple products, multiple services inside an app, maybe that use case is something which we are seeing most of the brands are choosing multiple app ecosystem. But OTT Play is a great platform where you could get access to almost all the OTT providers into a single ecosystem.
Yeah, but if I look at what's going on in video OTTs these days, a
Yeah.
lot of interactive advertising is coming in, wherein I can click and I can get into ordering a product, which is quickly taking me into that. So in a way, how would you define this, and how would you going forward? I see that a lot of these video OTTs could partner very strongly with the apps, and they could kind of marry with each other.
Yes. I mean, we see that, and we see that on most of the cases. Most of the platforms do not want to marry the walled gardens, because walled gardens today sit with so much of data, and the way they are able to monetize your data. Most of these OTT players do not want to do that, because the price of their CPMs goes extremely down. So hence they are, if they are able to create better technology using data clean system, data collaboration platforms to create ecosystem where you can target a commerce user on an OTT platform in a very, very secured manner, right? And there are native journeys which are being built in, that the moment you see the ad, you are able to land up to an app or a website. And if you already have an app, it will open up into the same page. So, and this is what, some of the segments such as retail media offers to, that we are able to target a specific set of users or buyers, depending upon their shopping cohorts, and then bring them and open up inside any of the app where they are selling that particular product. So we continue to see that, but aggregating the OTT will it is is a very long shot. Each of the OTT have their own ecosystem. They have their own monetization strategies. They have their own data strategies. Uh, so we see that aggregating these platform on a single one creates a challenge, but let it be. We are there for a longer run, so we continue to see how the industry evolves.
I understand. So now, if you look at what Geo Hotstar has done, it's opened itself up to Nielsen's.
Yeah.
Is that a good move? And how could it get better?
Yeah, certainly, I think. So anything which is attribution or market insights or deliverability is what most of the brands look at. And Nielsen being one of the global companies, it always helps to uh, help the advertisers to ensure that wherever their ad is running, they are able to get a very clear transparency, whether it's in terms of where the ad is running, or maybe the transparency to a level how many frequency cap do that particular ad slot has. We really welcome the initiative that Geo would have done it, and it really helps the advertisers again to ensure that they are able to spend and find out the ROAS or ROI on the platform.
And you can also take corrective action along the way. That's how they've kept it open. That's how
Absolutely.
open it is.
Absolutely. So, I mean, digital is all about corrective actions. You can't be right on the day one, right? So, you need corrective action at a very fast scale, and giving that ability to the advertiser, gets your platform more adaptable, right, in nature. So, this is where we've also built our technology. That our technology, while it is uh, self-serve, it is also managed serve. So while our teams helps them and educates them about managing their journeys, we also give them the access in terms of self-serve, which they can do it themselves. So the more and more transparent and more ability and decision making you can leave it to the in the hands of the advertisers, they really love it. And this is where Geo has been doing.
Yeah. So last night, 90.2 crore views, the highest ever encountered. So,
Right.
what do you think is going to happen to the IPL if Championship Trophy had such high numbers? What do you think is going to happen to the IPL, and what do you think that's going to do to clients who are using your platform to possibly get onto Geo?
So, as I said, we are also integrated to Geo, and some of the ads that you must have seen yesterday were powered by Mobavenue as a technology, right? We are a technology company. So for us, it really doesn't matter that whether we showcase the ad on Geo or maybe Sony Live or some of the other platforms. For us, what matters is if you are the right consumer, that is what that's what our technology makes the decisions for. And the supplier could be any of the mediums out there, which we have already done tighter integrations with. So we were very happy to see that so many viewers were there, and we are excited that cricket, being cricket, is always one of the best times, and brands spend huge amount of create more amount of opportunities during this season. Unfortunately, the prices have gone really, really high. So, we will love to see it that, how that is being managed. But brands are also moving a lot of budgets on some of the other platforms, such as in the retail media ecosystem, where you can actually go and track transactions till the last mile. So, from our perspective, we are very, very bullish that more and more number of people are able to be uh, shown on digital ecosystem. You know, we will able to get a part of that uh, ecosystem on our platform.
So, are you also integrated with the quick commerce apps as well, wherein these days quick commerce apps are also showing ads?
Yes, so we are one of the monetization and demand partners, and one of the platforms that we are launching early part of this year, or maybe mid of the year during the festive season, or just before the festive season, which we are already testing with some of our uh, uh, large brands, where we would able to give them the same ability of finding out a user on these particular platform, and with a click of a button. So we are able to help them and make them reach on their platform, which is, in that case, a quick commerce platform. But also, all these customers can be digitally targeted on platforms which are, fully programmatic, which include us and some of the other platforms which we are integrating, such as Meta.
Great. Now, so there is a lot of explosion happening in terms of digital ad spending. Uh, how, but Indian ad tech companies and martech companies haven't got their due as yet globally. What do you think is needed to bring about that shift? You're going global. You're setting up offices. How is that impacting, the made in India kind of a brand internationally? And is it getting helping you get customers? Because anyway, a lot of the back offices of all these international companies are in India, in Bangalore or in Hyderabad or somewhere else.
Absolutely. I think India has been always been into a service-led approach over last 2 decades. If you see, most of these large advertising technology companies have either created their engineering operations or back offices here, right? The reason why, because we were very strong on some of the things. However, maybe the customers are sitting outside India, right? And today, what we see is some of the great companies from the advertising ecosystem are now, including us, are able to build products which have equal capabilities. Some of the large, products such as based in US or Europe, and we're able to take them, outside India. While we continue to build our operations, our product our distributions here in India, but equally able to scale using the AI that we have built in. So this is very critical, and this is where the scale and the innovation of Indian ad tech ecosystem will evolve. That if you could build things in India and create in such a large ecosystem of 1.5 billion people with so much of decent amount of spending power and able to create products which can help and engage the local advertisers to reach to the consumers at scale. The same can be replicated outside India, where the consumers are spending more time online. The consumer are spending more money online. It's just like you need to build for those particular geographies. So, what we have seen is specifically with the last 3 years, what has happened in the advertising tech, in the AI tech, and the data side of it. The Indian ad tech ecosystem is able to evolve and grow beyond India.
Great. Any use cases which you can share about that have worked internationally for you for any brand?
So one I've clearly mentioned around, all the gaming companies in the world continue to find new users for their games. All the commerce platforms, whether it is in India, whether it is in Thailand, whether it is in Malaysia, Indonesia, or UK, Europe, continues to find new users. So that is one of the core use case that we are solving for them, and then obviously remarketing is another use case where we are helping the existing brands to ensure that they are able to reach their set of customers. So these are two use cases. Uh, we are still experimenting on the retail media and the brand side of it, because that is something which is very hyper local and very purpose built for that particular geo. We are quite confident in India, and we are scaling. We are solving it at scale. But these are the two products that we will take up, in next 24 months of our journey, maybe global. But the first two, where if we can bring right set of users to any of the app and game, that is one of the clear use case that we see can be used in any of the country that we are going for.
But aren't you a little late in that when there are local players?
And this is what the exciting part, Anil, is that while there are local players, but they are not able to scale the AI capabilities, and even if they are local players, the capabilities on the platform is very important. So most of the local players, because they didn't have the tech, they had the existing customers, they have white labeled the products. They have not truly built the infrastructure. They have not truly built the machine learning capabilities. They have not truly built the real time bidder capabilities from grounds up. So either they are, have built wrapper solutions on top of some existing technology, and and moving some sort of a scale, uh, but not able to scale at large.
Great. That's lovely for you. Then that's really a benefit and advantage for you. But coming back, you've been one of the pioneers in a way. If there's one thing you could change about the Indian advertising and tech and martech landscape, or mad tech landscape, what would you change?
That's a very, very tricky question. I mean, there are so many things to change, but uh,
Okay,
uh,
list them out. Let's have a list. It'll be great.
I think one of the core important thing in the advertising, and especially with a lot of dependency today on Meta and Google, and there is a large amount of dominance there. Even in US, there are lawsuits happening on that, typically on the dominance of these two large walled gardens. Most of the brands should really focus, especially in the digital advertising space, is what is their first party data strategies? What are they doing? How are they doing it? How are they able to enrich it? How are they able to collect it? How are they able to target those users specifically who they have already onboarded, so in the most privacy manner. So because tomorrow, if Google chooses to remove the third party cookies again, which they have right now pushed it, or they have they are not going ahead with it, it will be catch 22 situation for the brands. So one is very, very critical that we keep educating our customers that how would they able to do that and what they should able to do using data collaboration platforms which are growing. Uh, the second, important aspect that we look at, especially in the advertising tech, is with the help of now machine learning capabilities, you can really bucket your users at scale. So whether it is before they come on your platform or after they come on your platform. So how you are able to bucket your users post they have been on your platform. That's very, very, very crucial journey for any of the brand, and this helps them to target those users which high LTV, or which having very large revenue, which is average revenue per user, in a far better manner than versus one approach to everybody. So bucketing your users post getting them on your platform is something that we continue to educate and put a lot of emphasis on for most of the brands to ensure they are able to drive scale after they have acquired the user. These would be two of them, but we continue to educate our customers on what's happening on the AI side of it. So be it creatives, be it automation, be it bidding, be it agents, be it data, which they are already having it, and how that can be fueled. So we are trying to create multiple use cases for them to ensure that a lot of emphasis is done to protect their interest, uh, uh, while they are scaling their businesses.
Let's have you becoming a not a Nostradamus, but a kind of a soothsayer, a prophet. Uh, what do you see happening to the world of digital advertising in the next decade, 2 decades, if you can, separate the two? The modes of consumption are going to go up. Will we have
Yeah.
holographic televisions? We already have connected TVs. What are we going to move towards? What do you see, and what then will you have a lot of, as glass becomes easier to wear? Will you have a lot of XR experiences? How will you serve that? So, what do you see happening in this space in digital advertising and martech?
So we are very excited about what the future lies. We have seen, what internet took years globally. Mobile is hardly around, maybe around 15 years of their journey, and what achieved in 15 years, almost 1.5 decades, is amazing, and where we have reached today. Uh, uh, and what future is exciting is now, since the devices are becoming more and more cheaper, and there is lot of infrastructure which has been built inside the devices, a lot of immersive advertising experiences which will come forward. And we have seen some of them, be it, your AR, VR ads, be it ads on their, screens, be it ads even, on a TV, which is connected TV, how interactive they can become right from, QR based or some of the other, ecosystem, even playing the ads, right? That, we are able to see it. So these are some of the things that we look at, which is happening in the world. While it is still progressive, it is not something that it has reached a certain stage that it'll explode. But all of these immersive solutions of advertising is coming forward. Uh, what we've also seen is a lot of work being done on transparency in the digital advertising. And whether it is from a brand side or from the advertiser side or a supplier or a platform perspective, a lot of transparency today is coming forward with the help of machine learning and AI. And what we see is a, in future a lot of blockchain based ecosystem which will be built to ensure better better payouts to the suppliers in that manner, on which the ads are shown. So these are the two things that we are looking for the next decades. One is on the experiences side. The second will be on the technology side. Lastly, I keep repeating on the use cases of AI, either through assistance, through personalization, through privacy side. These are the things that we are bullish for next 2 decades, both on the ad tech and martech world.
Yeah, but I also see a scenario where a lot of mobility is going to come in. So entertainment consumption, commerce consumption is going to happen where and wherever you are, whether you're on a plane, whether and because internet is going to become very cheaply available, and even in flights, there are a lot of initiatives coming in that area. Mobility in terms of cars with entertainment and devices being built into cars in the future cars. So that's going to give a lot more opportunity to companies like you all to serve at various touch points. I even read that some of the delivery platforms, some of the delivery commerce guys are delivering at stations now.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So more and more channels, we call them as omni channels, right? So more and more devices which will come forward, which will be digitally active, that will help us to target users, whether inside the cab, whether outside the cab, whether inside the app, whether outside the app, whether on a platform, whether outside the platform, whether in a movie theater, whether while you're watching OTT or a movie, on a OTT platform. So, all of these are existing channels which are there, which continue to evolve over a period of time and will become a mainstream channel beyond a typical search and social channels, which are today predominantly where users or custom or advertisers are spending to. So more and more these channels are added digitally. There will be an exciting journey for us moving forward for next 2 decades.
Great. What's the big vision you're working towards?
I think the vision and the mission keeps changing, as you reach a certain stage. But on a broader based perspective, we look what you mentioned in the initial days, right? India television, and now you are focusing on much broader part of overall media. Same for us, we look ourselves as a more of a technology company, which will be group of platforms catering to certain set of problems. So in last, in this decade, we have solved it for advertising tech and we are solving it for marketing tech. In the coming decades, we would want to, move towards monetization technology. We want to move on machine learning infrastructure that we have built for ourselves, and able to export it for, some of the other brands and advertisers that we have built in, the agentic platform technology that we are building can it be exported to some of our advertisers. So underlining, we will continue to focus on be a technology company which will have interest in solutions towards platforms, and then in the advertising tech, in marketing tech, in cloud tech, and that's what our long term vision is. Because the technology is changing so fast that if you don't change and move forward, you will be outdated. So while we continue to change, we continue to evolve, uh, but at the same time, we are futuristic in our journey.
So you're bootstrapped right now. Do you need capital to grow?
Yes, we are bootstrapped so far, and we it's been a long journey for us to ensure that we reach a certain scale, and we will be on our journey to raise capital, either through public markets or private markets, as we move forward in next 12 to 24 months of our journey to scale our global operations. Our India business is pretty much profitable. We are growing, we are building more solutions, we are getting more market share, as we grow in this ecosystem. But we will be scaling outside India, and our capabilities that we have built, we will be exporting outside India. So we will be raising capital, for that side of our business.
And what are the challenges you foresee, or you don't see any challenges?
No, we will have challenges. I mean, we've been one of the organization who has always embraced challenges. We have had our tough days, while building up a company, from India. But one of the things are very clear for us that while there will be challenges, there will be opportunities. So if we can convert those challenges into opportunities, that is something that we always look at. And this is where we see that, if you what we have built in last 3 years towards the AI side of it, and the machine learning capabilities that we have built, the infrastructure that we have built is able to augment our journey in those particular countries and regions that we want to go for. So while there will be challenges, there will be also opportunities of scale. If we can look forward towards the opportunities, we'll solve for the challenges.
Fantastic. I love that attitude of yours. Really positive and really outgoing. Any last words before we call it a day?
I think from my side, I think last word would be just be persistent, just have believe in yourself, and have patience when you're building any of the company. A lot of time people ask, how is it journey of building bootstrapping multiple businesses and then scaling up today. uh, I think one is very, very clear that you, as founders and your partners, you should be very, very patient and have persistence for next 10 to 15 years. No businesses are built in a very fast journeys. We have seen where the businesses are built very, very fast. A lot of mistakes have been done, and then a lot of capital has been washed out. You know, uh, and that is something that we always advise for, that when you're building any of a company, try choosing a very large market size, and be patient, be persistent, keep doing. Don't rush for success. Success will come once are there for next, for a few years, right? So, and just be committed to what you want to do, and surround with people who can really educate you. Surround with people with the right set of team, who can be there with you to drive long term vision of your company. So that's something that I would love to give as a piece of thought to anybody who is watching this podcast, and they are thinking of starting of their own, uh, and uh, and going forward in building some sort of a product startup, a service company out of India, and taking it global.
Wonderful words, very, very wise and very mature words. Thank you for that. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, Ishant. Really nice getting to understand your company, getting to understand the way you're looking at the future, getting to, giving us a few touch points about how we should prepare for the future. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anil, for your time, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving us an opportunity. Team has been really kind. We look forward to interact more and share our journey, and hope we could inspire some of them who will be watching this posted. Thank you so much for your Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.